Hello, today we are going to discuss how to place dimensions in AutoCAD. So I'm going to talk about almost all the dimension schemes available in this software. So we will take the template and we will show you some examples first. Then we will do some tutorials. Now, when it comes to dimensioning in a new AutoCAD interface, that is the ribbon interface, you can go to this annotates and start working. So we have linear, align, angular, arc length, radius, diameter, jog, those kind of methods. And we have the dimensioning, auto dimensioning methods, as well as dimensioning styles here. Here also we have the text styles, dimension styles here. So you have a lot of things available in the ribbon: center mark, center line, multi-leader, likewise tables. So I may use this interface as well as the old interface here. So this is the menu bar. So in previous classes also I have showed you how to get the menu bar. So this is hidden normally. So normal AutoCAD doesn't show this menu bar. So I have to come here and take it out. So now it's shown. Why I am using the menu bar is this is easy for me because everything is nicely listed down. So if you look at ribbon method, sometimes I have to navigate like this, or else I have to go like this and find the tool, so it may take some time. So this may be faster than the ribbon method, so I may teach you this one. But anyway, we are also going to touch this area. So we will start with a simple example. So we are starting with linear dimension. So I may not use the quick dimension first. I will teach you the concepts. Quick dimension is kind of auto dimensioning method. So I'm going to look at linear dimension first. So we will have a small example. So now I want to dimension this line. So we can dimension it horizontally, vertically, and at an we can dimension at an angle even. So I'm going to start with linear dimensions. So it says first select the origin of this. So you have to have the snaps on, two endpoints selected, and I can come here and place the linear dimension. Now when you place the linear dimension, this dimensions font size is not really enough. So I will teach you how to change these things in a while. So we can have a vertical dimension like this. So normally we don't place dimensions like this because these dimensions are not crossing. So you avoid crossing dimensions. So I have placed two dimensions. So now these font sizes and other settings are not enough. So arrows are not clear and fonts are not clear. These spacings are not clear. So we will have to change these settings. So I will just show you how to change the settings in a while. Before that, we look at what are the key uh, terms available in AutoCAD. So we have this diagram in our slides. So we you have to know these basic terminologies in order to use the software effectively. So we have a this is called dimension line. So this is the dimension text. This is called extension line, and this is the small offset is called extension line extension. This is called extension line offset. So you have basic terms available in the software. So this is a line dimension, diameter dimension, radius dimension. So we will look at how to place some dimensions and see in the software. So we will look at how to change these font sizes and the other things. So it's easy for me to take the properties here. Say I right click and get the properties. So when you get the properties of this arrow, any object you can get the properties. So for an example, if you want to get the line properties, possible. So if I just press the escape button and select the line, it will show you the line properties. It will show you the starting point, ending point, line length, and the other things, and the layer properties. Now here I want to change the dimension properties. You just select the dimension, it will show you the properties. So now it's using the standard style. So later we'll discuss how to change the styles and create our own style. For the time being, I'm going to show these parameters. So this is a close field arrow. So normally in mechanical drawings we use the close field arrow, but when it comes to architectural drawings we may use this architectural tick mark. So this side is a tick mark and the right side is a close field arrow. So normally we don't do this way. We have to have uniform dimensions. So this can, if this is a tick mark, this should be also tick mark. So I will change it to tick mark. So normally we use the tick mark and the close field arrows depending on the discipline you work. And we have the arrow size. Say I will increase the arrow size 0.5. Now you can see the arrow size is increased. So I will come back to close field arrows because a lot of guys are used to this close field arrows. And now the arrow size is quite okay. Now we have dimension line weight. So if you want, you can increase the line weight of this. Now this is coming from the layers. I can switch off the dimension lines if there is no space. Normally we do this when we don't have space. So if there is little space here, we can only put the text. So we will remove these dimension lines. So I may not go through all the parameters. I'm showing you the important parameters here. Then we have the color. So this can be coming from the layers. Better you create a layer for the dimensions. Then dimension line extension. We will come to this first. Dimension extension line. So I told you this is the extension line. So we can switch off this extension line if there is no space. So now the extension line was switched off. We can take it back. Then we have important one is extension line extension. Extension line extension is this amount, so we can increase that one, say 0.5. You see now this is extended a little bit more. And extension line offset is this value. So if you want, you can increase that value even, say 0.1. This gap is now increased. So those are the important parameters regarding the dimension line. So this extension line offset, extension line extension, arrow size, arrow shape. So those are the important parameters. Then we have text parameters. Normally this is colors are also coming from layers, but if you want, you can change the color from this one even. And text height is important. Then we have these text positions. Text offset is also maybe also important. Say 0.2. You can see this gap is increased now. So we have to have a sufficient gap between the text and the dimension. And text position may be important. So depending on the space availability, normally we may have positions like this. Also the vertical position, sometimes it may be important. Sometimes if the arrow size is not big enough, you put it above it. Normally we put above, not below. Then we have text styles, so we can import the text style we created. Text inside a line, so those are not really important. Text rotation may be important, say 30 degrees. So you may have this kind of angle text, and text leaving direction normally left to right. And text override is also available. So if you want to show another value here, we can do it. So this is one of the weakness in AutoCAD. So actual dimension is 8.8, but we can type a false value and show another value. So that is not a good thing in AutoCAD. So this is not a parametrically driven dimension. So that's why you can change it to whatever the value you like. Even you can type English letters. It's not going to show you an error. So this is a This is a weakness in non-parametric software. So those are the most important dimensioning parameters. Then we have, I'll talk about these things later when it comes to styles, best fit, what are the best fits and other things. Now coming down here, we are having decimal separator. Now normally we put dot, but if you want you can have a separator like a dash. And dimension prefixes we can have, say if I want to type something in front of the dimension or behind the dimension, say millimeters, possible. Now everywhere when I put the everywhere, sorry, in this dimension only it's applying, but if you want to get these properties to this dimension, we can do what, without creating a style we can easily create a, we can match the property. So I want to match these properties here, so you can see it's now changed. So without creating a style also you can do this, but it's going to take a lot of time and to match the properties. So if the drawing is big, this may take a lot of time. So later we look at how to create our styles, but we have to understand these parameters first clearly. Then the important things are, this is decimals. Precision may be important, so depending on the drawing you, the design you do. Then we have alternative units. We can enable it. We can see this is in actually this is in inches, this is in millimeters. So even though I type millimeters here, this is actually inches. So I'll just delete this. This may be inches. Now this is the millimeter value, because software doing a calculation here. 8.83 multiplied by 25.4. So the scaling factor is available here, 25.4. So the software do a calculation. It multiplies 8.83 by 25.4 millimeters per inch, 224.282. So 222, this is the, I have omitted some decimal places, so this is the actual calculation. And we have prefixes and suffixes even for that. Tolerances also we can apply. So we will discuss these tolerances later. So I hope you understood the basic parameters in the dimension line. So we will look at the rest of the methods in a while. Now we'll look at how to apply align dimension. So very simple, you just select the endpoints and can place a dimension like this. But you should avoid these kind of crossing dimensions. So if you want, you can break the dimensions in these cases. So we will look at how to do that. Now if I want, I can match the properties of this one to this align dimension. I will undo this. Now we look at another method, arc length dimensions. So arc length dimensions are dimensions which shows you the length of an arc. For example, this way. So it will show you the arc length value. So the its notation can be kept in front of the dimension or the or above the dimension. So we will look at how to do it. So we will create an arc. Here we have to select the arc. So it is easy in AutoCAD. You can select the arc. So the position here can be changed. Later we will discuss how to do those things. And we can give say radius of the arc also. And if you want, you can put the diameter, but normally we don't put the diameter for the arc. So the diameters normally put for circles. So arcs we normally put the radius. So this is the diameter. So diameter symbols automatically comes and it will show you the center point even. So we have ordinate dimensions, and I will come back to this later. So diameter, radius, I showed you. Angular dimensions. So if I want to place an angle in a drawing, so we can just select these two lines and place the angle. So it is, you can place the small angle or the big angles like that. So depending on the cursor position, you can place different angles. Now we will look at what is meant by ordinate and what is meant by baseline and continue. So ordinate dimensions. So I will take an example. So ordinate dimensions, we can just select the specify feature location. So this way we can give a dimension value. So this dimension 59 is with respect to the origin here. So this is like x coordinate, and if you want, you can have a y coordinate even. You can travel this way. So I'll just take the other snaps out. So this is your y coordinate. So if you want, you can just inquire that id point and see whether these are giving correct values. 16.53, 59.02. So this is the xy coordinate with respect to the origin here. So ordinate dimensions are like that. You can always give dimensions with respect to the origin. And talking about baseline and continue dimensions. Normally, when you look at a drawing, so for an example, in this drawing, all the dimensions are based on this line. So this is called baseline dimensions. So everything is measured with respect to this line. So why we do this kind of dimensioning rather than putting dimensions here one by one? We focus on one line, and with respect to that line we put the dimensions. Here also the same thing has been done. So when you do this kind of dimensioning, your probability of making errors is less because you measure everything with respect to this line. But if you measure from here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here, likewise, if you make a mistake in this measurement, that mistake will go to the other, will propagate to the other points also. So if you omit some decimal places, that error will be accumulated here, and the last edge will be out of our scope. So please remember, when you want to do some manufacturing, normally we have to uh, measure everything with respect to a certain reference. So this is called baseline schemes. I will show you how to apply this in AutoCAD. So we can put a linear dimension, normal linear dimension. Now I want to continue this as a baseline. So there is a way of doing that. There's a tool called baseline. So just after you put the linear dimension, you just select this way, select this point, and press escape key. Now everything is based on this line, baseline measurements. Now if you want to apply a linear measurement, continue measure method, you can just place measurement like this. I take another example. Just don't directly start from this. Start from the linear tool. Just put the linear dimension. And if you want to have a continue dimension now, you just select the continue method. It will continue from wherever you left. So it's working. I press the escape key. Now this is called continue dimension. The problem in this dimension scheme is you make a mistake here. Say if you measure only 11.2, keeping these decimals, that error will be accumulated to this guy, that the error accumulates to this guy, and this point may be out of my range. So this method is not easy to read but not very practical. So there is a high probability of making errors. So this method is quite good. So this is called baseline. This is called continue methods. So you have to first put the linear and use these tools. You cannot directly start these tools. So we have now some other methods available. Say we didn't discuss jog method. So what is meant by jog dimensions? So you may have seen in drawings something like this kind of a lightning arrow. So this is called a jog arrow. So we can place a jog line. Normally we put these things into a arc or a circle. So we will show you how to do it here. So we can do it. Say select arc or a circle. Specify center location of override, something like this, and you have to place this dimension like this. So I think this circle is not really big enough, so I show you the big circle because the text height is big there. I will take it, select the arc or a circle, then specify center location. Now normally now the center location is automatically taken, so I just gave this endpoint. Now I have to adjust this text position, then I have to adjust this jog arrow. So we have to do three operations. We have to give the first endpoint, then the text position, then the jog arrow position. So this is how we place jog dimensions. I will do it again. Just select the arc or a circle, just select the endpoint, then select the text position, then select the arrow position. So this way you can place a jog dimension. Then we have covered all these things: linear, align, arc length, ordinate, radius, jog, diameter, angular, baseline, continuum. So we will look at other things now. So we have this center mark tool. So if you want to mark the center line of a circle, center point of a circle, this is applicable. So you see the software marks the center uh, automatically. So if the center line is not really big enough, we can change that. So there is a command to do that. In the styles also we have it, but I will show you how to do it here. There is a command called dimsen, dimension center line. Now it says 0.09. So if you look at my slides, we can have a center mark like this, or center mark coming out of the circle. So if you want to get the center mark coming out of a circle, the center mark dimsen value should be a minus value. So these are somewhat rule of thumb values, 0.2 and minus 0.2. So here we say 0.9. So if you just give 0.2 and try to place the center mark, you see somewhat big. But if it is not working for you, you just want to take it out of the circle, just give minus 0.2 and see whether it's going to work. All these are coming from experience, and some theory knowledge is also needed. So this center mark is now coming out of the circle. So remember these rule of thumb values: minus 2, minus 0.2, and plus 0.2. So these can be again given in the styles even, so no problem with that. And now this is about the center mark of a circle. But if you have, say, parallel lines, and in a drawing I need to mark the center line here. So here we don't find the center line tool, only the center mark tool. But if you go to annotate here, you can find the center line tool even. So I can manually place a center line by selecting these two lines. So software automatically create that center line. I don't need to create separate layers. So the center line tool is also available. You can see the center line is somewhat coming out of the normal line. So that's the theory. So it's available here, so it's not available in this drop down list. So we will look at another tool now. So these things I'm going to discuss later when I discuss the dimension style. Oblique angle also I'm going to discuss when I discuss the isometric drawings. So we will look at dimension space and dimension breaks now. So here I have a problem. These dimensions are crossing, so normally we don't uh, allow these kind of things. This is incorrect methods of putting dimensions, so we have to break this dimension. So we will break it now. Select dimension to add remove breaks. So here I want to select break it. If you just select auto value, software automatically breaks it. If you have a lot of dimensions crossing each other, it will break. So I will have another dimension crossing. So these two dimensions are now crossing here and here. So I will apply the dimension break now. Select this line. This is the common line which affects. So we select auto. Both points are broken automatically. So I undo this. And now if you select this line and if you give a manual value, you have to specify these break-in points. Now I have to use this nearest snap here in these cases. Somewhere from here to here I want to have a break. So you see there's a big break coming, but here this is not going to work because I didn't select the multiple option. So there's a tool called multiple and the dimension breaks. If you want to have multiple breaks, select the multiple, select the dimension you want to break, enter, and auto will automatically finds everything. And this way we can do it. So remember how to do these things and how to present a good drawing in a drawing sheet. Then we have dimension space. What do you mean by dimension space? So if you just look at example what we are going to do later, you can see these dimensions are nicely spaced. Everything has a almost similar spacing between each other. So this is professional drawings. So if you want to have something like that in your drawings, can be done. Now here it's almost okay because I use the baseline method. But if you have done it manually, it may not be correctly appearing. So if you want to adjust the spacing, can be done from this dimension space. So dimension space, please select the baseline dimension, enter. Select dimensions to space, these dimensions, then you have to enter, and it says auto. So if you press auto, you saw that it's going to adjust, but all this depends on the style you use. Previous values taken from the style. So if you just look at the standard style, we will discuss these things later in detail. This value has been given by the software. So if I don't like this spacing, we can increase or decrease. So I just select this and the rest of the dimensions, enter. Auto value, rather than using auto value, say I give my own value, say 2. Now you see it's space 2 from here, 2 from here. So this this can be given from the style. Later we'll discuss how to do that. So I hope you understood the concept of dimension space. So from up to here to there, I think you are quite okay. So we looked at center mark of tool also. These things we are going to look at later. And if you talk about tolerances also we look at later in the dimension styles. So I hope you know the keyword what is the meaning of tolerances right now. Then we will look at what is meant by inspection dimensions. Normally we don't need these in the drawings, but if you are working in a company, say manufacturing company, you may need to have these kind of dimensioning schemes. So here we are going to measure this product, the inspection label A, the value should be 7. We are going to inspect 100% times. That means if you are working in a, say, quality QA line, quality assurance line, if the products are coming, if 100 products comes, you have to measure this dimension always 100% of the time. So if you say here 50%, you are or you are going to check the products coming out of the line 50% of the time, and make sure the quality is maintained. So if you see this kind of a dimension in AutoCAD, that is the meaning. So now if I want to have that inspection value, so I just draw a rectangle and put some dimensions, linear, and I want to have inspection dimensions. It says these are the representations we can have. 100% inspection time, inspection, select dimension, this is the dimension I want to have, and inspection label also I can say A, and if you press OK now, this is the meaning. So this dimension A, its actual value is 3.54. I want to, when you do a design, you have to always check every piece 100% of the time. So that is the meaning of inspection dimensions. And you can have different symbols like polygon, and without the outer boundary also you can have dimensions. So I hope you understood the basic concept of inspection dimensions. Now let's look at what is a multi-leader. So this is a multi-leader. How can we draw multi-leaders? So if you talk about the theory part behind this, you have this arrow and you have this content here, and you have this is called a lead, actually leader landing. So the landing location I can adjust. If I want, I can have a lot of the landing length can be also adjusted. So I can have bends even in the multi-leader. So we will discuss them, how to apply the bends and other things in the styles. For the time being, I will show you how to create a multi-leader like this. So under dimensions, we have this multi-leader tool. It says specify leader arrowhead location, so we can land in first, content first. So what are the meanings of those things? So this is land leader without landing, so we don't have a landing. So this is the leader with landing. So this is with the increased length. So you can have different options. So I will just start with the normal leader, and landing automatically this length came because of the style, and the content I can now type. After I type, say if I want to go to second line, can be done. So if you want to escape, just press outside area, just then you will be escape from the text. So you can double click on this and again go to the editing mode. So the styles are working here, text styles. And suppose if you want to have these kind of multi leaders, a lot of leaders coming from this arrow, there's a tool under annotate, this plus sign. You can add leaders to this multi-leader this way. So I can quickly add. If you come to this line, I can add to the other side. And if you want to remove the leaders, there's a tool called remove leader. Just select the multi-leader and select the leaders you want to remove and press the enter key, it will remove. So this will allow you to add and remove the leaders you created. So from here also I can do the same operation similar to this multi-leader. So these are same. So I hope you understood the concept behind that. Then we have, so I have discussed almost all the areas except this one with dimensions, and we have jog linear tool now. Jog linear, what is meant by jog linear? So I will show you a diagram. This is a jog linear dimension. So if you see a dimension like this, the idea here is this is a broken dimension. So that is, this part is, if you measure from here to here, actually it's not 37, less than 37. So these values are actual, 2, 17, those things are actual values, and 16, that property is actual. But this 37, if you measure from a ruler, it's not actual, because this is a lengthy part. So I have to break the part like this using zigzag lines. Then you can have a jog value, jog linear dimension. So for an example, if you have a part which is lengthy, so if you measure it from here to here, actual value is, sorry, 13 point something. So if my drawing sheet is not enough, I may break this drawing. Say we can use the break tools and draw some zigzag lines and break it. And if you want to place a jog linear value, now select the dimension to a jog, and you can place the jog position this way. So now the idea here is, this from here to here, it's not actually 30. If you measure it from a ruler in a printout, it may not be 13, but the part length is 13, but when you measure it in a paper, it's not 13. So remember this notation. If you see this notation, don't use the rulers and try to measure uh, in a hard paper. So if you want to break it, just use the break tools available here. So we have these nice break tools. I use the these kind of things, and we can draw splines. Say other side also you can break, and if you want, you can have zigzag lines or splines and do the design. So it's not a big problem. This kind of tool I can use for the appearance. So I hope you understood the basic ideas. So these things we are going to discuss in the style section. You can try this tutorials now, chapter 8. We will also post some answers. Just try these questions and see. So these first few questions are not difficult. So actually you should try this question and try to put the dimensions by yourself, uh, and this question. So this question has this ellipse tool, and the how can I get this shape is important. So we have to use the fillet tool here. We discussed the concepts in fillets. So you have to draw this line up to here. So we have only the radius, center is here, so you can just draw a circle or an arc cut in this circle. So then we apply the fillet tool, then you can get this shape. So here also the same thing, we can draw a circle, and there's another arc or a circle coming, and those are crossing each other here. Then apply the fillet tool, you can get this shape. So if you get these two shapes, you can mirror this and get the other shape. If you have any questions, contact us. These questions also try at home. We will try to post answers. And tutorial number 9, we have a good question. Just try it with your own dimension parameters and see. So next video we are going to look at the dimension styles in detail. So I'm going to discuss this dimension style tool in detail. So I'll take this example again. So we didn't show you this one, so this is the last tool I'm going to do now. Then next video we are going to look at the dimension styles, how to create the styles. Then you will clearly understand the process. So I'm going to use the quick dimensioning method. Select geometry, enter. Now you see, depending on my mouse position, he is trying to put some dimensions automatically. So he has put some dimension automatically. So it will look at your design and put the dimensions automatically. So it will be so you can try it and see. So quick dimension, say here I select the two lines. Now he is trying to put some dimensions for you depending on your mouse position. Sometimes it may not work. So I think it's rather than using this quick dimensioning method, you use these direct methods, then you know what is the output. So rather than using those shortcuts in the software, here also we have this kind of a method. So here dimension, so when you come here, you just see how it works. It will be somewhat faster sometimes, but sometimes it may not give you the correct results. So you see how it works. Tries to automatically identify the dimension method. So it's like a smart method, so you can do it and see. So under annotates also we have this, which is similar to this one. Then we have almost covered all these tools. So center line, center marks also covered, spread dimension covered. These things I didn't cover. Reassociate, dock lines I covered, adjust spacing, breaks I covered. So continue, baseline covered, quick method also covered. Quick method and this one is somewhat different. This is somewhat smarter than the quick method, so you can do it and see. So a lot of things I covered. So the next lesson is about the dimension styles. So I hope you understood today's lesson. Thank you for watching this video. Goodbye.